Hi everyone, so welcome to this new video. From today onwards, we'll be practicing more towards a GRE exam. So let's start with the first section, that is choosing which quantity is greater. So for this relationship, these will be the options. This is the official question paper provided by ETS. It's a PowerPrep question paper. I'll attach the link to this paper in the description as well. So option A will be quantity A is greater. Option B will be quantity B is greater. Option C will be both A and B are equal. Option D, it cannot be determined with the given information. So let's start with the very first question. So we are given that line M and K are parallel. So we have to tell which of the following quantities is greater. So since we are already aware that so we can say, let's say this particular angle, for example, this is the triangle here, or I'll use a broader one. This is the triangle here. Okay. So this is X, this is Y, this is Z, this is W, and let's say this is A, and this is okay. We don't need rest of them. We can conclude two things from here. This is a linear group. Basically, it's all on a single line. So X plus A plus Y will all be equal to 180 degree. So X plus A plus Y, my bad, is equal to 180 degree. Hence, we can also say, since these are all three angles of a triangle, so we can say A plus Z plus W is also equal to 180 degree. So both of them are 180 degree, and we can see that the quantity B is here, quantity A is here, A is also there, so we can cut most of it. So X plus A plus Y is equal to A plus Z plus W. Now A can be removed. So we can say X plus Y is equal to Z plus W. That means both quantity A and B are equal. So option C will be the correct answer. So for first one, we have C. Now jumping to the second question now. Uh, I would also appreciate if all of you are solving the question simultaneously and putting your answers in the comment section. Second question is 4% of S is equal to 3. Okay, 4% of S is equal to 3% of T, where S is greater than 0, T is greater than 0. Let's first of all write whatever is given here. So 4% of S, we can simply say 4%. That means 4 by 100 of S is equal to 3% of T. So whenever you are given with these kind of questions, always first of all write whatever is written. Formulate the equations and try to remove most of the parts which are not required. So now we are asked that which one of them is greater. So as you can see, first of all, cut everything out. So 4s is equal to 3t. We can see that. Now, as you can simply see, either just take the 4 on that side. So s is equals to 4, sorry, 3 by 4t. That means t has to be reduced to make it equal to s. So t is obviously greater. Otherwise, you can also see that 3 times t is equals to 4 times s. So s has to be much smaller than t to satisfy that equation. That's why option B will be the correct answer here. Uh, I really look forward to you guys also commenting the same answer. Question is, three circles with their centers on the line segment PQ. That means this second largest circle has this center somewhere here. The smaller one has someone somewhere here, and the bigger one has somewhere in the middle. But all of them are, are falling on the same line. Okay, so let's read the rest part of the question. And it's mentioned that they are tangent at point P, R, and Q. That means there's one point of contact at P, R, and Q between all the three circles. So R is serving as a point of contact between the smallest two. P is serving as the point of contact between the biggest and the second smallest, or the second biggest. And the Q part is the point of contact, single point of contact between the largest and the smallest one. So now we are asked to quantify the circumference of the largest circle is bigger, or this sum of the circumference of the smaller circles. Very simple. Uh, Very straightforward, to be honest. Let's look at this. Uh, this is my figure. This is smaller, or let's like let it be anything. We really don't care right now. So let's say this is capital R. This is R1, the small one. This is R2. Okay. Now we are aware that R1, or since we are aware that all the centers fall on the same line, so we can say 2 times the R1 plus 2 times R2. This will make the entire line segment, the entire PQ, correct? This PQ can also be written as 2 times capital R, because that is the diameter of the bigger circle as well. So this is R1 plus R2 is equal to capital R. Now we have this information. This is the key piece of information you have to figure out. Now after that, everything is very easy. Just write the circumference. So quantity A is equal to 2 pi capital R. Quantity B is equal to 2 pi R1 plus 2 pi R2, which can be written as 2 pi R1 plus R2. As we just saw here, R1 and R2 are equal. So 2 pi, R1 plus R2 is equals to capital R. So this will be equal to 2 pi R. So both A and B are equal. So question number three, answer is C. Both A and B are equal. Now coming to question number four. Now this type of question is very easy if I tell you. So we are given that X is greater than Y. Okay. So there are few cases. It can be positive or negative. Always keep these parts in mind. Do not forget them. If you want to score 168 plus, it's better to always keep in mind X can take both values. So either X can be positive, Y can be negative as well as positive. It can be anything, but X has to be positive. If X is negative, Y is also negative, because but the negative value is much bigger than the positive part. Then we are given X plus Y, X minus Y. So this is very conditional. First of all, you can intuitively think about this. It has a lot of conditions to keep in mind. If both of them are positive, then yes, this will be the highest. Same with this quantity B. If both of them have the same value but in negative side, so X and Y, uh, let's say X is equal to 5 comma 7. Best is like take extreme examples. So I generally try to negate. So because best option will be to eliminate option D first. So D will sometimes not follow on the extreme values. Maybe if you check 2, 3, 0, these values, there will be somewhere ambiguity that what you should be going ahead with. However, if you check for some extreme values, both on left and right, it's better to get a result. So for example, 5 and 7, these are not extreme values, but we are taking an average case first of all. So x is equals to 5, no, x has to be greater. So this will be 7, y is equals to 5, for example. So a will be equal to 12, b will be equal to 2. So one case we got where a is greater than b. Got it? Now just to check that it's not conditional. Option D is not correct. Try to find something where we are able to satisfy the condition that x is greater than y. However, we are trying to maximize b instead of a. So let's take such an example. So x is equals to y is equal to. So x will have to take x is greater. Simple. So 7 and minus 5. Correct. So x plus y modulo will be equal to a is equal to 2, y is equal to, that will be 12. Now, this is showing us that this is very conditional. Simple, straightforward. Just because I change the values, I'm making sure I know, like I'm following the first condition which is given prior to anything, that is x greater than y. And still, I am getting two different answers. That means option D is the correct one. Yeah, try if these questions, like these type of values were working correctly, I would suggest you to go for some extreme values. So, for example, 1 million or something, not 1 million, 100 tends to be the optimal answer, easy to calculate, and yeah, you got the point. So, this will be question number four. Now, let's go to question number five. So, four we have is equal to D. So, coming to question number five, the frequency distribution shown above represent two groups of data. Each of the data values is a multiple of 10. Okay, so the values 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, their frequencies are given in this manner. Now tell us the standard deviation of distribution A or standard deviation of distribution B. Which one is higher? See, if you are not aware of what exactly is meant by standard deviation basically represents the spread in data. If you're trying to make a histogram, which is mentioned in this case, uh, but I mean, it's about how varied your values are. So there will be a mean value, correct? So about that mean value, how much is the data spread? So how much is the plus minus? When you ask someone to tell me what was your class's average marks, so they tell us, okay, we got our average, our section got average marks of let's say 83 with plus minus 10. That means my class has somewhere around from 73 to 93. Got it? Whereas the other class comes and say, okay, we also have the same kind of result, 83, but plus minus 5. That means our class had a minimum also better than you, but maximum yours was better. So we have to find some spread basically. So standard deviation, the formula for standard deviation is basically difference between. I'll write the formula first. So I is equal to 1 to n values. So this will be x bar minus x bar means the mean value minus each value upon total number of values and the square root of that. So the n will also be inside it. So now, if you are able to see this formula, you can tell me that the distribution A will have a much lower uh, mean value because most of the data is towards 3, correct? However, in distribution B, everything is very well distributed, so its average will be around somewhere between 3 and 4. You can tell that. However, we'll still solve it. I would suggest ahead and directly choose option which has less spread. But if you just want to be sure and you are about to get 170, then it's better to solve it. It takes a bit more time, but it's worth it if you're getting a full mm, maximum marks, 170. So let's solve it. I know the answer is correct, option A, because if you are good in statistics, you will always know that. So now let's see. 10 is occurring thrice. So 30, we are solving for quantity A. So 30 plus 60, 20 into 3, plus 30 into 6, that is 180, plus 40 into 3, plus 50 into 3, that means 90 into 3, that is 270, divided by 3, 3 times 4, that is 3, 3, 3, 3, that is 12, 12 and 6, 18, divided by 18. So let's solve it. This is equal to, this is 90, this is 270, so 540 upon 18. So average is around 30. So we have an average of 30 here. So 30, okay. I'll solve it for one only. So 30, uh, so for each value, 30 minus, we'll now plug in the values in this. So x bar is equals to 30. For each value, we'll calculate now. So for each value, we have, first of all, I missed this part. There's a square here. Now, 30 minus 10. It's 3 into, because 3 times that come will be coming. 3 into 30 minus 30. 30 minus 10, sorry. So 20 square plus, basically, I'll add a term of Fi, frequency of that particular number. So 3 into, and 3 into 10 square plus 6 into 0 square, because 30 minus 30. 3 into minus 10 square will again be equal to 10 square. So I'm writing 10 square, and then 3 into 10, 20 square. This will give me 6 into 10 square, and I guess you can understand why we wrote this. This part will be gone. 10 square, 10 square, 20 square, 20 square. We can write collectively as 20, 6 times. So 6 into 100 plus 400. This will be 500. So 3000 upon 18 square root. Now 3000 upon 18 is equal to 1000 upon 6. That will be around 166, I guess. Let me just check it. Yes, 166. So root 166, which will be nearly, yes, 12.9. So nearly we get, oh yeah, 169. So nearly we can say it is 13. So the standard deviation is 13. Similarly, for the second part, I'll directly solve that and put the values. You can also solve it simultaneously. Pause the video and do that. So on solving, you get the mean value of the second distribution B also is 80, 30. There are 18 values. So on solving, you get the spread of, or basically standard deviation of 16. So that means quantity B is bigger than quantity 1. Now, moving on to the next question, you can pause the video and see the solution here. I have written that. Okay. Now, next, we are supposed to fill the answers. Okay. So, sixth question. This one we will be, fifth question we have answer as option B. Let's move on to the next question. Sixth question, A minus B upon A plus B. Very straightforward question, where B is equal to 1. So, what is the value of A? Plug in the values. So, A minus 1 upon A plus 1 is equal to 2, which implies A minus 1 is equals to 2A plus 2. So A is equal to minus 3. You can even verify the solutions you got. So A minus 1 will be equal to minus 4. Denominator is minus 3 plus 1, that is minus 2. On solving, you get it as 2. So this is the correct answer. We are not given with the condition that A has to be positive or anything. Always check this condition, that if there is any other condition given. Just don't stop with solving these simple questions. So answer is E. So sixth question, E part. Coming to seventh question. A business owner obtained a 6,000 loan at a simple interest. So simple interest is the interest rate of R. So R is the unknown quantity here in order to purchase a computer. So after 1 year, he made a single payment of $6,840 to repay the loan, including the interest. So this is the amount which has to be repaid. Time period is given, principal is given, only R is missing, which is very easy to solve. So first of all, a amount is given as 6,840. Principal is given 6,000. Simple interest which was uh, taken from him was subtract both of them. So this will be $840. Now, out of $840, we'll plug the values into the simple interest formula. So SI is equal to P R T into upon 100. Principal was 6,000. So R by 100, basically, what was the interest rate? That will be R by 100. For how long? This is given that after 1 year he repaid. So this will be 1. So we can neglect it. Now this part we can cancel. This is equal to 840. So now we have to solve R as 840 upon 60. Cutting all this, we get it as 14%. So rate was 14%. So option D is the answer. 7D. Eighth question. If the average arithmetic mean of three numbers in the list L is 10 by 3, what is the average of five numbers in the list M? Okay, so list L is given. Eighth question. It's a very like intuitive question, I would say. You have to figure out a few things, but it's fun. So list we are given. Arithmetic mean is given. That is, if we have 2 plus x plus y upon 3 is given as 10 by 3. Am I right? So we can say 2 plus x plus y is equal to 10. Do not solve it. Do not write x plus y equals to this. Because you can see list M also has 2 x and y. So we'll just remove all of them. Uh, so list M values are 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus x plus y upon how much? 5. So now 2 plus x plus y we already know that is 10. So we can say 10 plus 11 plus 3 that is equals to 14 by 5 that is equals to 2.8. So 2.8 can be rewritten as okay, fraction is asked. So 14 upon 5. So 1 4 upon 5. So eighth question is equals to 14 by 5. Coming to the next question, if anyone is not able to understand a particular question, you can always ask in the comment section, or if you want, we can also have some sessions, live sessions, where you can ask questions. Just let me know in the comment section if you want anything like that. Now, coming to the ninth question, which of the following inequalities have at least one positive solution and at least one negative solution? Okay, so you can choose multiple answers. How many options are there? Okay, only three. That's weird. Uh, So basically, without uh, contradicting the logic of the question, you have to come up with the equations which can have both positive and negative values. So x is taking a positive value as well as negative value, and this is equation is still holding true. So 5 by 3x is less than x. See, in this part, we will have a problem actually. So the problem here is option A. if we try to solve it, so 5 by 3, x is less than x. So for what value will this equation primarily be held true? This quantity can only have the solution on one side actually. So I'll tell you why. Because it can be rewritten as, try to understand it in this way, 1.67, 5.3, 5 by 3 is rewritten as 1.67, x is less than x. As you can tell me, if x takes a positive value, it will always be false. It can never happen 1.67, which is a positive number multiplied, which is greater than 1 multiplied with a number, should be less than that number. Not possible. So the only solution it has is on the left-hand side. That means if x is a negative value, for example, -1, then this will be less than this. So if this is x is equal to -1, so this will be minus 1.67, this will be -1. And we know -1 is a greater option. I mean, a bigger value. So it has solution only on one side. So option A is eliminated. Coming to option B, x cubed by x. So this will take all of the answers, so both the sides. We need x should be greater. As you know, x cube will be always greater. However, within the interval of 0 to 1, this won't be true. So I will give you both the examples here. So if x is equal to 0.1, so x is equal to this, x cube will be equal to 0.001. Which one is greater? X is greater. So okay, we have a positive solution. Another part, we need a negative solution too. So do we have anything? Yeah, maybe. So x is equal to -2. So here you have to look outside the -1 to 0 range. This will be -8. The left hand side, except for the -1 to 0 interval, all the values will be satisfying that. Because when you try the cube of a negative number, it will be a bigger value. But since it is negative, because it is retaining the sign because of that negative symbol and the power, uh, this will always be much smaller. So we have both the cases there. So option B is one viable option. Coming to option C, because it's a multi-correct answer, x minus 6 is less than x minus 7. Straight linear equation. So add x 6 on both sides. So x should be less than x minus 1. Is that possible? Let's look at one side of the solution. So if we have a negative value, let's say, so -1, x is equals to -1, and x minus 1 is equal to -2. No, it's not possible. I mean, this is a very, very common question, very simple question. I have a number and I take one from that. It will always be smaller. It can never be greater. So this equation doesn't even have solution. So option B is the only correct answer. Let's come to question number 10 now. Now, if you are good with the powers, exponents, and everything, this will be a very simple question. So we'll just say rewrite. So given 5 to the power 5x multiplied by 25 is equal to 5 to the power n, where n and x are integers. What is the value of n in terms of x? Simple. We have to find out the relation between n and x here. It's an equality which is given. So 5 to the power 5x is given. Now we'll rewrite 25 as 5 to the power 2. Correct. This is equal to 5 to the power n, which means if you are aware, a to the power something plus int multiplied by a to the power something else will be equal to a to the power. That means 5 to the power sum of both of them. So 5x plus 2 is equal to 5 to the power n. Now, if bases are equal, then you can equate the powers. So 5x plus 2 is equal to n. So n, now you have to find the value of n in terms of x. So yes, n is equal to 5x plus 2. Option B is the correct answer. So option B, 9, we have B, even 10, we have B. Got it? 11th question. Of the 180 judges appointed by a president, 30% were women, 25% were from a minority group. If one ninth of the women appointed were from minority group, how many judges were appointed were neither women nor from minority group? It's a set question. You can make a Venn diagram or just use percentages. Any method you're comfortable with, you will get the answer. So you're given total judges are 180 total, out of which 30% were women. Whenever you're given percentages, even if it is not asked or it is not necessary, it's better to always find the values. So 30% of 180 is equal to 54. So 54 were women out of 180. 25% were from minority groups. So 25% of 180 will be just divided by 4. So divided by 4, we get the value as 45. So 45 were from minorities. Now we are given that one ninth of the women appointed. So one ninth means how many? Six women are from minority groups. So six were common between these. Correct? Uh, how many of the judges appointed were neither women nor from minority group? So just a simple question. So we have set A. What is the value of A union B transpose? Not transpose. A negation of A union B. A union B will be the women and minorities. So this will be equal to negation of A plus B minus A intersection B and the negation of that. Correct? So A will be 54 were women, 45 were from minority, 6 were common in both. That's why we are removing that. So that will be equal to 93. Correct? And negation of that. So negation that means 180 minus 93. How much will that be? 87. So option C is the correct answer. So 11th question, C part. Now move on to the 12th question. If an integer is divisible by both 8 and 15, the integer must also be divisible by which of the following? Whenever these divisibility questions come, always take the prime factor. Okay. First of all, no matter what is given, uh, try to write 8 is equals to 2 cube. We are sure. 15 is equals to 3 into 5. Correct. Now we are given integer is divisible by both 8 and 15. Correct. The integer must also be divisible by which of the following? A very, very obvious thing. If a number is divisible by all of these, so it will always be in the form. If you're not able to understand this part, whatever I'm about to write, just write it in the comments. So that number x can be written as basically 8 to the power any value a into 15 to the power value b, where a and b are uh, a and b are greater than 0 because they are divisible, so 0 can't be there. That means it will contain 8 as well, so it has to be a multiple of a plus 15. So now to be a multiple of 8, option A is multiple of 8, option B is multiple of 8, C is multiple of 8, D is multiple of 8, E is not a multiple of 8. Correct? Now, if I'm saying that this is a multiple of both, that means any prime factor here. So that means 2 to the power something. So 2, 3, and 5 can be there with any power x, y, z, where x should be less than, or maybe at least, see, this is given, must be. That means at least one occurrence is there. So x is less than or equal to 3. Y is less than and equal to 1, Z is less than and equal to 1. That means at least one occurrence if there exists. So the smallest number possible. So if that is existing there, we can have our answer. So 15 since this is minimum and 0 can't be there. So that means 15 into either 1, I mean, not 1, 15 into 2, or 15 into 4, or 15 into 8. So these are the three cases which can be there. However, we do not need to limit ourselves to 15 as well. Since it is given that it must be divisible, that means here it can even be 0, any of the term. So even if we end up dropping anything, that means an option like 24 is a perfect fit. 24 has 2 to the power 3, correct? Multiplied by the 8 into 3. This is properly a subset, this part. It can even be like this, or just 2 square into 5. If 20 was an option, that was must also be an answer. So for this part, 24 will be the answer. So 12th question, B will be the answer. It can be any subpart. Basically, if you are given that it is definitely a number, and you're not asked here what is the maximum, like the minimum number, which will definitely divide that certain integer, you can take subparts. But if you are asked about minimum or maximum, story is totally different. Not totally, but yeah, you need to then put more constraints on the values. Now, next question. A certain experiment has three possible outcomes. The outcomes are mutually exclusive. That means they cannot exist together. So there will be no intersection between the two scenarios. So if I roll a dice, it can, if I say uh, outcome one is it gets positive number, outcome two is it gets a negative odd number or even number. So those are exclusive events. So either positive, odd will happen or even will happen. So those kind of questions are there. So mutually exclusive and have probabilities p, p by 2, p by 4. What is the value of p? So it has only three possibilities. That means these are exhaustive as well. So nothing else can exist other than that. That means p plus p by 2 plus p by 4 is equal to 1. And we are knowing that there is no intersection, so we don't need to worry about anything. We can say this is the question we need to solve. So denominator will be 4. So 4p plus 2p plus 1p is equal to 1. So 7p is equal to 4, which implies p is equals to 4 by 7. So what is the value of p? Option D. So 13 is equal to option B. Now 14th question. In a triangle ABC, the measure of angle B is 90°. The length of side, let's draw it much better. So whenever you're reading these kind of questions, best is to draw it. So B is 90 degrees. So this will be B. Length of side AB is 4. So this one seems smaller. So I'll put A this. The 4. Length of side BC is X. Got it. If the length of hypotenuse AC is between 4 and 8, this can be between 4 and 8. Which of the following could be the value of X? Now, X is asked, and this is told that Y belongs to, and okay, let's not give it name. So AC belongs between 4 to 8. So what if it is 4? Definitely it can't be 4. Got it? Why? If it's a right angle triangle, 4 is the only possibility when X is equal to 0. So 4 can't be there. So equal to case we'll have to remove 8 for it being 8. Since it's all the values we have to find. Yes, 8 can be taken, I guess. Hmm. So, okay. let's use Pythagoras theorem first of all. So 8 square, we are checking the extremes first. So 8 square is equal to 4 square plus x square. Sorry for the plus. This will be 64 is equal to 16 plus x square. This will be x square is equals to root 48. So x is equals to root 48, which will further be written as 4 root 3. Got it? Now 4 root 3 is the maximum value it can take. And we know it has to be more than 4. So 4 root 3, try to solve it. 4 root 3 is 4 into 1.732, which will be nearly equal to 4 root 3 can be written as 6.9 something, nearly. That means f, yes, it can exist. 6 square, 4 square plus 6 square. That means 16 plus 36, somewhere less than 64. So yes, this is possible. 5 is possible. 4 is possible. Why is 4 possible? 4, 4. If x is equals to 4, this AC is equals to 4 root 2. So 4 root 2 is equal to nearly 5.6. So even that is less than 8. So now that's not an issue. So 4 is possible, 3 is possible, 2 is possible, and 1 is possible. So pretty much all the values can be taken. So answer will be here, all. Okay. Now let's move on to the last question. Let's move to the last question, which is 15th question of this section and this video. After that, we'll send the next uh, set of questions in the next video. So the last question is, each month, a certain manufacturing company total expenses are equal to fixed monthly expense plus a variable. So basically, for a particular company, the expenses of a particular month are as like literally any other company. There will be some fixed cost, like salaries, and there will be some variable cost. Basically, how much are you producing in that particular month? So you are just saying that these are two components. The variable component is directly proportional to the number of units produced by the company during that particular month. If the company's total expenses for a month in which it produces 20,000 units are 570,000, and the total expenses per month in which it produces 250,000 units are 705, what is the company's fixed monthly expense? Simple linear equation in two variables. So basically, let's assume fixed cost FC is equal to X and variable cost, which is dependent per unit. We will write it as per unit or per thousand unit. It's much simpler that way. So for each 1,000 units, our solutions will be much easier that way. Uh, so fixed cost is X. For 1,000 units, will have variable cost of Y. So we have two situations which are given. So X plus either you write 20,000 units or since we are taking it for some 1,000 units at once, this will be equal to 570,000. Second equation which is given fixed cost plus 25,000 units. That means 25y is equal to 705,000. Just subtract. Nothing more simpler than that. So 5y is equal to, this will be 35, 135,000. There was a negative, I removed it. I hope that is clear. Uh, Now this will be 27,000 for, okay, just plug in because we need to find the fixed cost, not the variable cost. So just plug in this y value. So x plus 20 into 27,000 is equals to 570,000. So x plus 540,000 is equals to 570,000, which is X me is equal to bigger amount of 30,000. So option B is the answer. So thank you guys for making it up till here. If you guys have any issues with any of the steps we followed in this video, I would like you to comment in the comment section. And I'll also attach the question paper in the description. You guys can always follow that. Okay. Now I'll be looking forward to see you all in the next video, which where we'll be covering the second part of quantitative. I'll show you the questions in advance. These kind of questions are there. So we'll solve these questions in the next video. Thanks a lot.